We're going to get started.
I'm not gonna. I don't like that.
Thanks, you're welcome to bring the stream to me. For those of you who were not in the previous instance and are joining us now, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. This is our final screening for Raindance Immersive 2024. So before we get into the show today, I want to say a huge thank you to all the filmmakers for showing their work. And for those watching on stream, for those in instance, I've had such a joy and a pleasure speaking with the filmmakers and engaging in these events. So thank you for allowing me to host and for being in my audience. Before we present our films today, I want to help give our new people in the instance a great experience. It's really helpful if usernames are obstructing your view. VRChat allows you to hide those usernames via hiding nameplates. And you can do that in your hand menu by going into the settings and scrolling down, or actually it's right at the top, hide nameplates. So if anyone wants to do that, I really recommend it. If any sound is distracting you during the screenings, you can turn on earmuff mode by double tapping your audio symbol on your hand menu or opening that menu up, and you'll also find earmuff mode in there, which will allow you to create a bubble around you so it will dampen the sound if anyone's talking, perhaps in the lobby or around in the audience. Also, the resync button, if the video is stuttering for whatever reason or not quite playing correctly, there is a tablet that you can grab in the entrance to the cinema, which you can take with you up to your seat, which will allow you to hit resync, and that will help restart the connection and hopefully resolve the stuttering problem. So if anyone wants to grab the resync tablet, now's a good time to do that. Additionally, if anyone has any other issues, you can come find me. I'll be sitting just down there. When I'm not on stage, of course, you can come talk to me if you have any technical problems. We also have a channel in the Discord that you can type in if you're having any problems as well, and our Raindance team will look at helping. We also have Joe Lee in the audience somewhere who's on our Raindance team and is also happy to take any concerns or questions that might come up. Finally, one more thing in terms of being aware of the people that are around you. If you're going to take a photo of today's screening or a selfie, just be mindful that your camera might block or obstruct people's views. So I'd recommend if you're going to take a photo, do it quickly and get rid of your camera once you've taken it, or fly it into a place that isn't obstructing the screen. And that's all my notes. Thank you again for joining. The first film that we're going to be playing today, I want to make sure everyone is aware it contains some flashing lights. It is a unsettling film, maybe edging on horror for me as someone who is easily scared, I would say so, but also shares a really interesting story and is quite experimental in its structure and its form and its visual style. So I'm really excited for you to jump into this world with me, and please stay after because we'll be having a conversation with the director and some of the creative team as well, Dee Ghostly, the director of the film. I can't wait to present the film Where Withered Flowers Grow.
Where the heck did this rain come from? I knew I should have brought an umbrella. Oh well, I guess.
Oh my god, is that guy okay?
Should I call someone? He looks like he's hurt.
Yeah, go get someone. Hey, are you okay? Sir? Do you need help? Hello? Sir, can you Hey man, that was my favorite shirt. What's wrong with you?
Shh. Okay, look. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna dry off, and then we can forget that this
Man,
even.
get this guy out of here.
Seriously? Come on, you're whining over nothing.
What's going on here?
He's had a little too much to drink and spilled his drink all over me.
Is that so?
No. Listen, I didn't have that much to drink, I promise, and it was just an accident, right?
I think it's time for you to head home, buddy. Come on.
Man, what the hell, man? It's not like I was trying to or anything. Wait. Hold on, hear me out. Bullshit! Yeah, you have yourself a lovely night, dickhead. Fuck, man. Hello?
Do this? Why can't you just make an effort to give up work for one day and go to your own son's birthday party? You never think about us.
Don't you realize that what I do provides for the both of you? I don't see you working. I don't see you making an effort to go out and get a damn job. Stop blaming me for everything you forget.
Whatever. Okay, yeah, let's walk towards the scary place.
I'm getting Jason, and we're leaving.
Not with my son, you fucking bitch!
Jason.
No way. No fucking way.
Jason, you know that isn't me. Your mother.
No!
She's sick.
the hell is this place? Why was he there? What the fuck is going on? This has gotta be the way out. What the hell? Mom? Hey, wait! Whoa.
Darling, sit down. You're going to hurt yourself. We don't need you wandering off again. Do you hear me? Lindsay? How are you going to look after Jason when I'm gone? Do you want to go to the doctor again?
No, I don't want to see the doctor again. I won't wander off. I think I'm just stressed and my mind is all over the place. I'll take notes around the house so I can remember better.
Jason, come see your mother.
Mom, it's me, Jason. Are you okay? How are you here? Mom? Why aren't you saying anything? Mom? Mom?
Oh my, Who are you?
What? What?
Do you remember what the doctor said about that little flower that God plants in the back of your head, blooming, eating away at all the good times you had, who you are, what you think is real and what isn't? I hoped that it wasn't true. I wished and prayed there was nothing wrong with her, wrong with you.
Shut up. You don't know what's wrong with me. There isn't anything wrong with me. I am not like Mom.
Run, Jason. Run before it gets you too.
Shit!
Jason, where are you? Where is my boy? Where is my son? Jason! Where are you?
Sir, I understand your concern, and we are doing what we can for your son. Your wife. She had fallen victim to the same thing. The only thing we can do is be there for him.
That's all you're gonna tell me? I can't lose him too! Not my son! Not my boy! Please. Doc, maybe there are treatments out there we could—
No treatment exists, sir. I'm sorry. Sorry you're sick in the head, son.
Mom?
Stop! Jason, honey, didn't you listen to your father? He told you to run.
Where the heck did this rain come from? I knew I should have brought an umbrella. Oh well, I guess.
Oh my god, is that guy okay?
Should I call someone? He looks like he's hurt.
Yeah, go get someone. Hey, are you okay? Sir? Do you need help? Hello? Sir, can you hear me? Sir? Oh wait, I know you. You're one of the old men that live next door to me.
I'm not sick, Mom.
Oh my god.
Vincent.
Hey, son. You ran off again, huh? I guess that's my fault. You can't be doing that, Jason. You could get hurt. I'm sorry I wasn't there to stop you, son. I'm sorry I wasn't the best father to you growing up. To you. Or your mother. They want to take you to a nursing home. They say I'm not fit enough to look after you anymore. And they're right. I'm old. I'm tired.
I want to go home. I wish Dad cared as much as you did.
I'll come and visit you in a few days. Don't wander off again.
Sir? It's time.
I know. I know. Good night, son. I love you. I'm sorry.
Bravo!
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful. Hold on, play it again. One sec. Play it again.
Our audience is requesting to play the film again. I am so happy to welcome to the stage the director of the film, Ghostly. Please join us. And the creative team.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to start to unpack this film, and its mysteries and its secrets and its inspiration. I feel that I was like writing new questions as I was watching it. I feel like every time I see this film, something else comes up. It's one of those films that I think the audience, I'm not surprised that they want to see it again, because it's something that you'll always see new things in whenever you see it, and I love that about it. So that's my first compliment. So thank you for sharing it. This is also the premiere of the film, which I should have said to begin with. So I'm so privileged to be having this premiere. Thank you. Congratulations on the release. I'm stuttering a little bit, just FYI, but hopefully I'll become clearer. Now I want to talk about the origin story for this film, Ghostly. First of all, we talked about the origin story ourselves when you first brought this film to me, and you talked about how originally it was inspired by a musical album that you listened to, and there was the first conceptual ideas came from this album, and I'd love to hear, and I'm sure the audience would be interested in that story of how the early concepts of the idea came.
Yeah, so originally it was just going to be like a lot more smaller than what it ended up being, and it was just going to be another back rooms thing that you normally see on New Mullen Time, but I wasn't satisfied with that, because I was like, I wanted to tell a deeper esque story, and then I was just scrolling through the internet one night watching YouTube, and I came across Everywhere at the End of Time by The Caretaker, and I was like, I know what I want this film to be about now, because I had already been working on it before I set it in that direction, and I felt like it was missing depth, but once I listened to that album, I was like, okay, I know what I want to talk about, and so immediately I started doing research, and tried to figure out, future shots and all that stuff.
I mean, initially when you first told me that, the idea was really stemming from this music, immediately related to that. I think sound and music is such a key place to draw inspiration from, so... And it's in the film as well itself, so it was really interesting to hear that. Before we move on, I should acknowledge Lazy and Sleepy One, who was on here with you. If you could introduce yourselves and your roles on the project, just in case anyone missed it in the credits.
Yeah, so I'm Lazy the Dino King. I did the body acting for Jason and a few other extra characters in the background.
I'm the Sleepy One. I filmed a couple of the scenes, like the running scene at the beginning, and part of the time I was the dad teleporting around.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm so pleased that we have you here. Now, it's so clear that you have such a particular vision for this film, Ghostly. It has a really distinct visual style. Obviously, a lot of VFX effort has gone into it. But I want to talk about the inspiration from the backrooms. I wonder if you could explain, for those who don't know, kind of what the backrooms lore is and how you wanted to bring that lore into this story. How you wanted to use that world to on the themes and the narrative that you wanted to present.
So originally, the backrooms. Like I said, this was originally supposed to be just a normal project, but from the beginning, I was gonna, explore other liminal-esque spaces, because liminal space plays a big part in this one, and I was like, liminal space, especially today, is like, there's a lot of we're in a shift, a time shift where things, from like the early 2000s are starting to fade away. That's normally what liminal space is, and that I've kind of put those two together, dementia and liminal space, and it's just old-timey good memories. It's all starting to fade. And the back rooms, not only is it unsettling, but it's it screams, old. It screams old and decay. That's why I left it in. Continue to go forward stuff.
I mean, it immediately made sense to me. I don't know too much about the backrooms, but I know enough about liminal spaces in the way that it feels like a space between like time and space, and purgatory and memory as well. So it really served what you were trying to achieve with the themes of the story. And speaking of the backrooms and the atmosphere of the film, I'd love to hear if there were other unsettling horror films potentially, or what other media influenced you when you were crafting the film.
There was two films that I like took a little bit of inspiration from. Joker, Todd Phillips' Joker. It's very. The cinematography not only is beautiful, but it's unsettling at the same time. And Arthur Fleck, it's hard to tell what's real, what isn't. Film a lot, and I took a little bit of inspiration from it. And then another film, I think it was As Above, So Below, which is a more intense project. But it was that handheld like camera look that I kind of want to put a little bit of that in my project. At least that's where a lot of like the cinematography style, and then a lot of the psychological torment part of it is from Joker.
Yeah, that's an incredible reference, and I feel it in the film. I wouldn't have known until you said, but I definitely feel it. And speaking of cinematography, I imagine that there's questions in the audience that people are dying to ask about certain camera movements. So I'm going to try and answer. I'm going to ask those questions myself because I'm so curious on some of the particular movements. But before we get into specific moments, I'd love to hear how you collaborated with your cinematographer. Was there a lot of preparation in achieving the camera movements? Did you storyboard and particularly script certain moments, or was it a little bit more loose in production on set and feeling out different movements?
It was a lot of kind of drawing, sketching something out only with the camera, and then going back, erasing, fixing it. Back and forth. Especially those first 7 minutes was a lot of that. And then Sleepy actually. So I was doing most of the cinematography, but however, I had trouble filming stunts. And Sleepy, thankfully, and Socks up there was able to help me out a little bit of the stunt cinematography because I was having major trouble with that. I can take pretty pictures, but stunt work was something I had struggled with.
Well, maybe you could answer this question I'm going to ask Sleepy, but one moment that always just shocks me is when the protagonist is taken to the ground and is dragged on the floor. I am so curious how you achieved that, both in body acting, but also in how you achieved it in the camera as well, and the slow movement, tracking towards the character as they're being pulled away. Talk to me about that particular shot.
What we did. Yeah, you go for it.
No. I wasn't actually there to film that scene, unfortunately. It was someone else was doing.
Yeah, it was Socks up there. And what we did for that particular shot was I put Lazy on a dolly system that was made by Metacosm, and I had I put him on it and had Socks up there. I instructed him what I wanted or what I was looking for, and literally all I had him do was just like sink into the ground and slowly like keep up with. Yeah. While the dolly system would drag Lazy back.
I see. So Lazy, you were on the dolly system. So you weren't. All you were doing. Talk to me about what you were doing, Lazy, because I'm so curious. Because the movement is fantastic.
Thank you. So yeah, I was just laying on my ground and just kept pushing myself off the ground like I'm being dragged, and giving the feeling of he's trying to crawl away, but of course he's not able to. He's continuously getting dragged. So yeah, just laying on my floor and just kind of going with the motion, acting like I'm being dragged, but of course not really.
I see. No, what I imagine in your physical space is quite a hilarious image, which I'm sure people will agree with. But it looks amazing in the film, and I think that's such a testament to VR as well. Being able to do really interesting mocap in your own space using these different tools. Creating a dolly system that's pulling you back whilst you're just doing the static movement. It's really impressive.
Thank you.
Another moment that I want to raise in our conversation is this iconic shot where the protagonist falls through the wall and down into the back rooms in the early part of the film. I would love to hear the process behind that shot as well. I know I'm being that Q&A host and going shot for shot, but it's only a compliment to what you've achieved. But I'm sure people would be interested in that particular moment.
Yeah. So. Me and my actors at the time, we knew we wanted him to like fall through into the back rooms, and before it looked the way that it looks now, it was, he falls through the wall and it's just immediate cut, shows him falling on his back. But, I wasn't satisfied with it, so I kept trying it again and again. I realized the skybox in the world where Jason falls through is completely pitch black. And I was like, I think the back room's world's skybox pitch black. So it was just, I had my body actor and voice actor, Coda, he I had him flip over on his bed, and then we cut to a different shot, and then another actor, I had him go all the way up and just had him fall down, and I would keep up with as we fell down.
I see. Yeah, I still don't. I feel like I still don't fully comprehend how it's achieved, because the falling is so, there's so much momentum. I think that's also carried through in the sound design a little bit too, which is really impressive. Not sure if you wanted to add anything to that, Lazy.
No, it's pretty much the way that shot would be done is just using the settings in VR, turning your gravity on, and just going as high as you can and just letting go of your play space, and your character and avatar will just constantly fall back to the ground using the in-game gravity that you can activate through your VR settings.
Right. There you go. I'm unraveling the mystery. To ask about one more shot, and then I'm going to move on from the particular shots. It's the POV shots. These moments where we're right in the character's eyes, and we're, trying to understand what's happening and kind of escape the back rooms. I feel like there was some work done in post to really achieve the blurriness of being POV. But is that true? And how did you approach doing a POV image? Because it's achieved very well.
I took a little bit of inspiration from another Backrooms project, made by, but he did a lot of POV shots in it, and I was like, that's a good idea. I haven't thought about that, because I was just gonna have poor old Lazy run on a treadmill for most of that, but I was like, no, I don't want to put him through that. So yeah, that POV shot, I just kind of blocked out a little bit of it. So the dad, how he teleports and stuff, I wanted to block out, where he teleports, where he doesn't on screen, and as I'm running with the camera. Literally, I'm running in place and just with the camera in front of my face. And I don't know, it was mostly just kind of in the moment. I didn't like. It was like a very quick block out. Space.
Right.
And then just running. It was. I don't know. I didn't think too much on it, but I thought it looked really cool, so I was like, yeah, I'll keep it in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like I'm going really in depth on these, but actually they can be achieved in quite simple ways when you know how and you have that workflow and the experience. Still really impressive. Now I want to talk a bit more about directing and performing as well. A lot of this film is achieved through its sound design. We have lines that are happening off screen and there's visual effects occurring. And so how did you approach directing your cast members in giving them the context of each scene? What's happening off screen and where they should be looking. Was there a lot of conversations you had to have in order to give them a context? And did you speak lines that were happening off screen so they had something to react to? It'd be good to hear, what was the on-set environment like and how you coordinated the movements in that context.
For the body actors, I would have them. I would tell them, there's people speaking on screen, but I wouldn't like go into depth on what the lines are specifically. But I would say hey, there's a couple arguments in that dark pitch area. It's progressively getting more and more. I'll just get a 10-second clip of observing, cautious, giving off this panic vibe. And then for the voice act, I would just tell them I would give them the context. They would tell them dig deep within. You're a struggling mom or a struggling dad, or that you've just been given news that your mom is. She can't remember you anymore. Mm-hmm. How would you react? How would you feel if mom just asked you, "Who are you?" And then really that was it. Yeah, it was just a lot of context and a lot of. I would tell them, how would. That's what I kept. How would you feel if this were happening? How would you feel the doctor for your loved one? Stuff like that.
Yeah, but giving them an opportunity to get into their shoes, put themselves into the character's shoes. Yeah, that's good direction. I want to take audience questions next, but also Ghostly. There's a few moments where we're missing some words from your microphone. I think it might be your sensitivity, so I bring that down a little bit so we make sure we catch all your words of wisdom. We have some questions, it seems. So, Ariel, do you have a question? I don't see you, but I see your nameplate there. Yeah. Do you have a question? We can start with you.
All right. First, I have to say, I am absolutely mind blown, super impressed by this project. This thing is totally sauced up. Absolutely sick job. Blew me away. There's so many things I could talk about, so many things I could ask about. I'll probably talk to you later about some of your influences because I'm very interested in that. But specifically, I want to ask about the moth creature and the inspiration behind that, and sort of how you brought that thing to life and what it maybe represents within the context of the story, because that shit was just absolute sauce. I was so in love with that. I was like, holy crap. Yeah, okay. That's my question. I'm so curious about this moth creature. Please enlighten me.
So a long time ago, my grandmother was taking care of a little old lady who had, she had dementia, and Like I remember I wasn't there for when she passed, but I remember the last time I did see her. She had a little garden, and there were quite a few withered flowers, and because she wasn't able to take care of them anymore, and there was almost this just family of moths around those flowers. And originally, I wanted to do something else to the moth creature. In my eyes, I'm having it symbolize dementia and how it can come for you. It can come for anyone. And yeah, that creature. It was mostly inspired from that, and I found it in a just world, and I was real happy that I found that, because I was like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And yeah, I knew I wanted a moth-esque creature to represent or symbolize that disease, and that was just a particular memory that I remember long time ago. It was like 4-ish years ago that I saw those moths around those flowers, and I was, alright, perfect, that'll work.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ariel. Next question from Khang.
Hello. I just wanted to state that was a very seriously beautiful film. It's not very often that I see these sort of, themes and messages portrayed through film, especially dementia. I just wanted to say that it really resonated with me. Last year I had a family member that passed away due to dementia, and seeing all that, seeing the memories, the experiences really came back, and it really emotionally hit me. And thank you for portraying such a terrible disease so eloquently. But that is not the question I was going to ask. I just had to make that statement. Do you have any film background? Like, that was gorgeous. And is this your first film?
Yes, this is my first ever film project, and I just learned it from, like I said, just drawing, erasing, and obviously I took a few inspirations from other filmmakers such as you and such as Ariel and all these other amazing people. Like I've learned a lot in the last 2 years, and yeah, a lot of that was just a lot of what I've learned from you and from everyone else.
Oh, thank you. Very perfect. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Khang.
Thank you.
And congratulations. Yeah, I'm so glad that you brought up that it's first film, Khang. That's really worth celebrating, honestly. Starheart.
Hello. Yeah, mind-blowing. I love the visual effects. I love the sound design. I love the story, and I love the red herring that, like, you think it's gonna be the dad who's, like, the bad guy because he's glitching in and out and whatever, and, but then, the moth and the dementia. It's so good. What was your favorite moments, to bring to life in this script? Like, did you obviously this is a pretty visual effects heavy film. Were you more excited about trying to show these impossible things, or were you more excited about the interaction of the horror element, or the mom character? And yeah, I'm super curious what was most exciting about this to work on.
For me, it was just trying to tell a serious story, especially one that would resonate with people. That was my favorite part. Just like showing clips off to friends and stuff, and reacting so heavily to it, and I was like, it made me feel good to see all those reactions and see that everyone's enjoying it.
I think we all did. It's awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's just amazing. I was very drawn in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Starheart. I could ask a question, just to talk a bit about your writing process. When you're dealing with quite heavy themes, it can often extend the writing process to ensure that you're representing it in a way that feels authentic and honors the subject in a way that people can relate to and draw their own experiences into. Kind of to kind of extend Khang's question a little bit. How long did the writing process take, and perhaps the entire process as well after that? But I'm particularly interested in how you scripted the story and those moments that stuck out as really important and informed the rest of the script.
A lot of it was like I would write out just a small little thing, like those first 7 minutes. That was all I had written down for a long time. And kind of like, basically like throughout the filming process, after a film session, I would come up with an idea, write it, and then see if it works and see if it hits. Yeah, a lot of the writing was just, me throwing stuff at the wall and trying to figure out what would work. At least what would sound nice and what would represent this disease, not badly. Because telling a horror story and dealing with a disease like this, I wanted to try and keep it as respectful as I could. And yeah, it was just filming and then scripting, and then even at times I would have some of the other actors, like Lazy would like come up with lines on the spot when we were filming, and I was like, that sounds so much better. And so yeah, it was a mix of improv and just coming up with it on the spot almost.
Right, yeah. And I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm curious, the film has a structure to it. There's stages, and they're very obviously presented in the film as stages with more like poetic intertitles. Were those kind of chunks that you filmed at different times? Were those the moments that you were like throwing on the wall and, it was this stage, and then they all kind of found a way to be connected? Or is that might sound too easy than it actually was. Maybe it was a bit more sporadic, perhaps. But were those stages individual parts that you'd filmed at different times and then found a way to connect them?
Yeah, so the stages, I knew I wanted those in from the beginning. And I tried to figure out how to stitch them together with the story so that way, it flows together, and that way it transitions from those different sections accordingly, and also obviously I wanted to have those stages there, and then the scenes you see play out kind of represent what's said, and like the stage 5, horror, stage 4, it's just confusion and wandering almost, and just stuff like that.
There's more of a way to like elevate the truth of the film in a poetic way. Yeah. Also feels like it somewhat represents dimension in an authentic way as well, or perhaps just kind of gives a bit more of a definition to what's happening, which maybe honors it in a way. So yeah, it made sense to me, absolutely. I'd like to turn to audience once more for any final questions before we close the showing. Any final questions? No. Well, thank you so much, D Ghostly, for premiering this work with us at the festival. First time I saw it, was a little terrified, but then the more I saw it, the more I was so impacted by it and fell in love with it. And I'm sure the audience will feel the same. Lazy and Sleepy One, thank you so much for joining us for this Q&A as well.
Thank you.
And one more round of applause for Where the Flowers Grow.
Yeah.
I can't clap harder, I'll break the controllers.
Don't break
Thank
your
you so
controllers,
much.
Thank you.
Expensive clapping.
Expensive clapping, yes, that's right. Thank you once again. Where the Flowers Grow team. Now, that concludes presenting all of our short films and music videos that are competing in competition for Raindance Immersive 2024. However, that is not the end of our event today. We have one more thing to show, and it's an experimental piece of work. It's a project out of competition this year, and it is a 360 narrative video that is created by the winner of Best Short Film of VR last year, Khang Lu, the director of Emergence, and we were so excited to work and encourage Khang to experiment with shooting a 360 film in VRChat using a specific camera system. And we have created, or I say we, the incredible creator of this world, the VFI, Lucy Liu, has placed this film in the lobby downstairs for us to connect to and see the film together in social VR, so we can watch the 360 film together. So we are going to go downstairs and join the lobby to see the film. There is going to be a play button, so I'm going to say now, before we all go in, please don't press the play button. I want to make sure everyone is in the bubble before we hit play, because once we hit play, that's going to be playing for everyone and we'll all sync up to watch it. For those watching on stream, we're going to do our best to cover this screening for you as well, though it is a 360 film. So keep that in mind. But please stay tuned, because we're going to do a Q&A or kind of a fireside conversation with Khang about the challenges of making a 360 film in VRChat, as well as the creative direction and the story of the film as well. And that's all my words. I can't wait to dive into this. Let's do it. So if everyone would like to respawn, that might be the fastest way for us to arrive there, so we can all respawn, and I will cue the 360 film.
All right.
Like here?
Excited.
Okay. Yeah.
Whoa.
So
Wow.
essentially, you'll enter this way.
Oh,
That's right.
whoa.
Yeah, if you like, please enter.
Can we enter that?
Oh.
I'll just stand here, so nobody clicks it.
Backroom spawns in. Ah, fuck.
Whoa.
This
Oh my
is
God,
gonna be
it's
good.
not-
How
Oh,
cursed
I'm
is this
so
gonna be?
Oh, this is cool.
Did we like just
Fingers
it's like we
crossed.
stepped in a simulator?
Simulator within a simulator. Oh, don't push
Whoa.
the simulation
Whoa.
within a simulation. It's like double the simulation.
Someone hit play.
Someone hit play?
I don't think everyone's
Is
here.
it playing for
Stand in
people?
front of it, so nobody will click it.
Something is playing. Yes.
Wonderful.
I don't hear
Okay,
anything,
that
though.
is
I don't hear anything,
not
though.
what. Okay, yes,
Oh,
that's all right. I
sound's
think.
actually right over here.
Yeah, in that case, what we might do is we might make a new instance. I'll drop a portal. We run through it. That might be the best way to restart the
Lucy,
video.
show a whitelist to the-
Lucy is with us somewhere. Oh, not in the bubble, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would defer to some. Yeah, again. Oh, Lucy's here, so I'm going
there's
to
Lucy.
confirm.
I'm
Lucy,
here.
it seems to be playing for some people, so we're going to make a new instance. Do you think that's the best move?
If it's not playing for people, wait, let me try.
No,
I think it's
Really
playing for
good.
everyone. I
The
think
movement
someone
was
clicked.
so
I think
fluid.
someone
I think
clicked.
that's
play.
I'm not that smart. You're gonna find out as we talk. Where's everybody going?
Volume slider.
Everyone's turning the volume up, so if you want to join, you can turn the volume up like
my eardrums out.
here.
Right side.
Okay. Got it.
Volume's on the right.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Let's see. Now I understand.
In a way.
It's so cool.
Arium.
Planetarium.
Dork. A bunch of people standing around not knowing if it's working or not. That's future cinema.
Or having people that are like standing in a circle, and then there's gonna be like one taller person that's like, "Wow, this is great," and then there's gonna be the short person who's like, "Hey, can you move?"
I'm going to check
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. I'm so sorry.
Who's still in the film? Raise your hand if you're still in the film. Ghostly, you're still in the film. Okay.
I see black, green, I don't see play buttons anywhere.
I see.
I see Studio Penrose.
I
just see black.
Let's see anything.
In the field.
So what are we supposed to be seeing right now?
This is flowers,
We're
wheat.
supposed to see a white box with a play button. Does anyone see that? Show of hands.
Nope. I do not.
Nope. Just singing the voice.
That is negatory.
No, I don't. Are you not seeing Studio Penrose over there?
It's just pitch dark.
Okay.
I saw it at the start, and then someone clicked it.
Yeah.
Let's say that again.
Made good. You did good.
See, it's just
Nice.
Is this starting?
Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, everybody sing.
Volume slider again.
Has it restarted?
I think so.
Is it?
I have a single frame.
It is paused for me as well. Does everyone? But this is good because there's some
progress.
We're all having relevant things happening. Does it? We're
all seeing the same frozen frame.
Still field.
Basically.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's a great step forward.
Whatever these flowers are.
We were in a still field. I wonder if it's possible for Lucy to hit play or restart it now.
All right, I need to find a person who is named Dr. Kakashi. Would you please come forward?
Oh, Kakashi.
You click the play button.
Was
so
he a doctor in the house?
You have to click the play button.
Let me see if they're in the instance. They were here.
Oh, he's such a doctor.
Oh, here we go.
He made the grass move.
They just went in
the thank you, Jason. Oh, we're starting.
It's starting.
I don't know where to go. I hear it.
On the audio source.
Okay. Still can't hear anything. It's very faint on my side.
Come this way.
Yes.
That was cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Son of a
bitch.
Watching it.
Here
comes. Here comes. Bravo.
Bravo.
Really cool.
This is so cool.
Expensive claps. Nice job. Nice job.
This kind of cage match will be a different event.
There.
Real 360 film, right? This is what I came for.
I saw it.
Khang, let's do 360 Shrek.
Respawn. Let's all respawn and
Okay.
let's dive into how this was made. I'm going to encourage everyone to actually stay down here because we're already here. Khang, potentially we could sit on the sofa here.
Oh, literally fireside chat. All right.
Yeah, do it.
Here, would you like?
Oh gosh, now I gotta do that thing. Okay, I'm gonna sit.
Why not use another space in this world? We've got to mix it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is this comfortable for everyone? The pillars aren't obstructing too much. I hope so.
The
Um,
pillars obstructing Joe, which is perfect for me. I'm getting an amazing view.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to talk about the making of this 360 film. First of all, bravo. We all really enjoyed it, and thank you for your patience as we were getting it working. Something we're experimenting with, so I appreciate your support as well, Khang. Would love to first of all just hear about the technical aspect of making a 360 film in VR. Do you have to use a certain camera system and approach filming in a different way in order to shoot 360? Talk to me about how you approach this.
Yeah, so first off, filming in 360 is like infinitely different than filming in 2D. It was a lot more difficult, and like every infraction that you could think of is amplified because of the fact that like you can't really like frame things away to avoid, I guess, visually showing something that doesn't make sense. We used a 360 avatar made by someone named Voxel K, I think. K spelled K-E-I. And basically what it does is it translates what you visually see into like a 360 sort of bubble-ish screen thing. And when you take that footage and you throw it into Adobe Premiere or whatever other program, it actually turns it into... should I be using this?
Yes, please.
Toggle. Oh, do I just hold it and like I talk? Is this how this works?
That's how.
Oh, cool. Okay. Technology.
You need to hold it. Wow. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It's...
Got it. All right, I feel cool now holding a mic. Anyways, so yeah, that was kind of how we did it, and the avatar translates what you see into 360, and this is kind of the part where I'm like really not used to. You can't film this in VR. You have to be on desktop to use that avatar correctly. And so I was standing there still in desktop filming this stuff. It was quite the interesting tech thing.
Right. Imagine that was a slightly new experience for you. I mean, it's all new experience, obviously, but you're used to working in VR, so stepping out of it, but also within VRChat. Yeah, it's a different approach. I would also like to talk about how this is a story where it's a world that is familiar to people who know your work. The characters are familiar in your award-winning film that was shown in the festival last year, Emergence. It would be nice to hear about how you wanted to connect the world in this project as well, and the sort of script that you wanted to write for this video.
Oh, yeah, sure. So this film uses the avatar I'm wearing, a character named Lucina Mai from Emergence, which was, like you said, the film that we presented at Raindance last year. And basically, in this, her parents were killed by some random intruder, or so we think. And so in that short film, it was more of a pilot. I don't know if I ever talked about that, but that film was meant to be a pilot for a series that we're working on. But we decided to, when we were working on this 360 film, decided to kind of hone in on something that me and Maria talked about before the production began. 360 film is not necessarily new. It's been around for quite a while. A random funny background thing is I remember watching 360 films in 2016 or 2017, one of those years, because I do railway photography in real life, and someone started uploading 360 train footage, like they were like on a train or they're like recording trains, and they would use that 360 thing. And I thought, oh, that's like the coolest thing I've ever seen. I want a 360 camera in real life, and I looked up the price, and I was like, no, I don't. So that was kind of the background with that. But the idea was that me and Maria talked about was Apple Vision Pro. They released a little like teaser or trailer for their headset, and in that they showed this family watching a birthday that they recorded on a 360 camera and being able to watch it in VR. And so we were like, okay, 360 film is at its core kind of a gimmick right now, in many capacities, not all, but a lot of ways. But there is something that like I think could be really useful for it, and that's memories. When we take videos on our phones of like, let's say our kids' birthdays or our friends, we're kind of limited only to what the camera sees and what it's pointed at. And we don't get to see what happens behind sometimes. And you ever see those videos where like someone records something funny, but then they drop the camera at the last second and they miss the shot? It's like, And so 360 film allows us to revisit memories to the fullest extent that they could be revisited. Being able to put a headset on and watching a video of your child's first birthday is really beautiful. And so that was kind of the idea that we had coming into this, was we're going to show Lucina's memories through 360 film, because I think that's kind of the best way to use 360 film at the moment, at least for my purposes.
Yeah, and when I caught wind that you were focusing on memories, it really excited me. As a fan of the fiction and the world that you're creating, it was really exciting to get more insight into Lucina's backstory. So just speaking from a storytelling perspective, I think people will really enjoy that insight. And it makes sense that you would bring up Apple Vision Pro. I remember they showed in the demo that birthday video, and what's really interesting about that specific headset, and some very recent keynotes have also occurred, that cameras are being created for not only 360 video but spatial video, which can simulate depth when you're viewing it through the Apple Vision Pro. And I'm really curious, through using 360 video to elevate your work shot in VRChat is fascinating. Can you take it further into transmedia and film your immersive VRChat series or content using spatial as well? Have the depth metadata in the camera to play with it in post and create layers that people could then watch via the Apple Vision Pro and really feel like they're inside the world with you, but it's an animated real-time environment. Yeah, there's so many really interesting questions that are coming up. I don't know if my mic's working. Lucy's pointing at me. Hopefully it is. It's good. Okay, good. There's so many interesting possibilities that are coming up now with VRChat filmmaking, and what's possible, and how to elevate your work into not only a flat screen sense but different mediums. We're working in VR. We have headsets. We could watch the films in them too in unique ways, especially with the Apple Vision Pro. Just wanted to share a little bit more of a sentiment there.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to add to that, Khang? You're welcome to.
Yeah, actually, you brought up something kind of interesting, and what I was thinking too with this all is when we took the 360 video, I mentioned like it's a screen capture and it wraps around and it becomes 360. That's not entirely very spatial. It just translates like a flat image. Spatial is something I want to see more of, but like it's very limited to the technology that VRChat has. Like for instance, I actually talked with Kent about this a while ago. I don't remember the exact phrases that the terms that they used, but like our version of 360 that we used for the film is like a flat version, but there's others that feel a little bit more spatially aware that we can't do in VR yet. Yeah. I don't know if you know anything about what the types are and what they're called, but
I know the general term.
Your mic.
Volumetric.
Your mic.
Thank you, Jason. Jason, do you want to chime in? It sounds like you want to.
I mean, I'm familiar with like 3D, 360.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. No,
What you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
The obstruction.
Different, I think, yeah.
So 360, 3D 360. I think that the abstraction there is the information that we can obtain from the VRChat camera. There's work, there's potential that is there. I feel like with the data is actually with us, we could receive more depth within the camera system and other ways to receive information, which could allow us to create the depth and the 3D nature. But that would be something that I think VRChat would have to work on, in the developing team in order to implement it, from my knowledge. But hopefully this conversation will support that journey. And as I certainly love to see, more technical freedom in achieving really cinematic work in spatial and in 3D 360. So I think that, there's some abstraction technically, but this is a great first step in seeing what is possible and how it can be used in story as well.
Yeah. I think we have a unique medium of being able to have all these different styles of avatars and worlds and stuff. And one thing that actually, because of the time limitation of producing the film, I wasn't able to hone on this very much. But alongside memories, there's also the element of visual, like environment, like location. VRChat's just home to quite a lot of diverse worlds, and I wanted to be able to show more of that sort of stuff through 360 because alongside the idea of capturing memories, doing that in VR is actually potentially really cool. Imagine being able to bring in a 360 camera to a club space and actually being able to relive the club that you went to. Imagining being able to hang out with some friends in a really gorgeous world, which is millions of those on this game at this point, and being able to capture that and relive it too. It would be really nice. I hope that this technology develops, but it's really limited to, I think it's got to be the hardware, and it's not hardware. See, I'm not a tech person. I don't know any tech things. I know I'm probably talking about tech things, and Peach is rolling her eyes over there, but but yeah, one day.
Yeah, opening up the information that we can, opening up the camera information so we can create systems like that. Does anyone have any questions? Comments? Does anyone have any questions or comments? We'd love to have some input from you in this conversation, or even just compliments on the video.
I'd like to give a compliment. I can definitely compliment.
Sure. Okay, let's start with Jason.
I just wanted to say I really admire the experimental nature of this work, Khang. I think there was something really cool. So I've seen, lots of 360 films, and I've even seen a good amount of 360 films in virtual spaces, mostly over in Engage. They have a couple of 360 worlds. Generally, I have not seen them with a crowd, and I've never seen a narrative 360 in VR. I've seen lots of 360s, with my headset in, standalone, but never in a social setting. And I felt like we had this great combination of a very disruptive narrative movie watching experience where I felt very much more connected to the crowd in your movie in that 360 space than I did in the traditional movie theater space. In that space, I know everybody's around, but we're not really, looking at each other. We're looking at the screen. And in this one, it was very much a different emotional vibe as a group. Oh, shit. Sorry. I didn't even see it there. I was just saying that is it on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So the main point I wanted to say is that there was a very strong emotional connection between the audience, myself, and the work that I have not experienced before, and I really want to just say thank you for providing that, and I really appreciate the risks that you're taking and the time that you're taking to experiment. So I think it was a very successful moment, and congrats.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. No.
Yeah,
actually, can I talk about that a little bit? Yeah. Of course. So, Despite the very cursed nature of watching like a 360 film, you bring up the idea of like crowd watching and it's more interactive, and that's exactly what I wanted because obviously this film was more narrative, but like if we're watching memories together, imagine being with a room of friends watching like memories play on a 360 and like talking about it. This is a very stupid situation to bring up, but like when we were testing out this film, Lucy didn't tell us that like there was a video player, and the Penrose team, we figured out that there was a video player, and Lazy he joked about watching Shrek on like 360 on the video player, and we actually did that though. That wasn't a joke. That was an actual thing that we watched. Like we watched the Shrek opening, and it was the most hilarious thing watching like him kick the door open in the beginning thing, like in 360.
Was it like stretched?
Yeah,
really
it was
horribly
like
stretched?
super stretched. Yeah. So like that's kind of the joy of it. Like you can have fun watching these sort of films, and you can also take them less seriously too because you're with everyone. And that's kind of the takeaway, one of the takeaways I wanted to get out of it too. So I'm glad you pointed that out. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jason. Moonarch?
This thing on?
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Khang, could you tell us more about the music choice for this film?
Ooh, thank you for asking. I was waiting to actually talk about that. So the film was developed as a way for our main character Lucina to relive her memories, and the soundtrack that we decided to go with was Love Sorrow. I'm not going to try to pronounce the composer's name, but it was played on the piano by Eliza. And specifically a section who's right there in the crowd. Thank you for playing that piece. It was wonderfully played. One of the things that we wanted to do... Oh, actually, applause time. Get to hear the clicking noises.
More expensive claps.
First one to destroy their controller wins. But...
Bet.
Relatable. So I... with the song choice, I think Eliza, you would know more about the actual background of the piece, and so please feel free to correct me if I'm like wrong about this. The composer that wrote this arrangement, the piano variant of Love Sorrow, wrote it because they were homesick during, was it World War II, right? Yeah. And obviously Lucina didn't go through World War II, but she does feel homesick in Emergence, the film that she takes place in, because she has to move away after her parents were murdered. And so she's in this new location and feels very, very small in such a large world. And so I wanted to have a piece that has that sort of very bittersweet taste, and that's kind of Love Sorrow as a piece. And I also love the piece because I've seen it in quite a few films. And actually, I was talking to someone about this. If you've watched Your Lie in April, the anime, it's in episode 13, in one of my opinion, the most tear-jerking moments of the actual film or series or anime. One of the few ones where I actually like bawled my eyes out was in the scene using this track. And so that was kind of the background for it. So yeah, I know. Yep. If some of you know that anime, you'll know the scene I'm talking about and why it's an important piece for it.
How dare?
That was a great question, Moonarch. I also want to just highlight Flowers Right for the beautiful world that you filmed in. I love that world, and it was such a good choice. And I was wondering if the piano in that world, when you found it, what was that like? Was it an immediate, this is where we've got to film? For the main piano scene, of course, there's more worlds in the film, but that's one that obviously sticks out.
Yes. I'm glad you brought up Flowers Right, because I didn't know they made the world. And I didn't connect two and two together until Raindance this year, and I saw them presenting their music, and I was like, "Oh my, it's the same person!" But when we when we found that world and found the piano, I immediately was like, "Yep, this is the one." We actually scouted a world before that, and it was also really gorgeous. It's actually the world that the poster was taken in. Or made from. However, I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the conversation about 360 having like limitations. You see everything. It doesn't matter like where you are, you'll see everything around you. And that world had a lot of UI menus, like buttons and stuff. And so I was like, ah, man, I don't want the audience to turn around and see welcome to this world, you know? Like, it kind of takes you out of it. And so when we found this world, I saw the beautiful flowers and then piano. I really love yellow flowers. This is a slight tangent, but I do photography in real life, and Natalia, my girlfriend, whenever we're train chasing together and taking pictures, I'm always looking for yellow flowers, and so they have like a special place in my heart, and I saw all that. I was like, yep, this will be it. I found the yellow flowers.
I love that.
In VR.
It took the final box. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. We love you, flowers, right? Yeah, also showing a project in Raindance, Children of the Seed. So couldn't resist to raise them. I saw there's more hands. Buddy Ball has a question. Oh, actually, Charidan also has a question. So maybe go Buddy Ball and then Charidan.
You go first.
Oh, me? Okay. Is it?
Now
It's not green anymore. It's white.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got to just use a trigger. Yep.
There you go. Okay, it's on? All right. It just the colors are. You mentioned when you're filming it that you're in desktop mode, and I guess you're not doing camera work because you just sit there. Can you see what's going on at all, or is it like stretched out on your screen and completely unusable? Like, how does that interaction work?
Oh, yeah. So I talked with our team about this because I was like, I want y'all to know my struggle with this right now. So I shared my screen at some point, and I pointed it out. So the screen will wrap, but there's still a direction that your camera will face. So when you take like a 360 video, you're still like starting off at a certain viewpoint. It's just that the audience is allowed to look around from that starting point. And so I can still like see that center starting point as like the main area to focus my camera. And so I do actually like focus on the body actors and point the camera in a certain direction. Thankfully, it's still like understandable to see that, but it's still odd, you know, because like the weird warping and stuff. It looks really goofy. I can share a picture at some point that shows it somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be fun to see. Thanks.
Yeah,
that'd be great. It's almost like one panorama image.
Yes.
If you were to
it looks like that.
Give you an image to imagine. Yeah, it's like you take this whole big panorama in 360 and just see the whole flat thing. Buddy Ball.
We're not allowed to eat it. Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant hold the trigger. No. Mine's more of just a compliment because I heard earlier that we could just give those. I always respect it when anybody can tell a completely visual story, and having it be in 360, you know, it's less than 3 minutes, and you have this very emotional, especially by the end, you have this just such emotion tied with everything, having to do like tying these relations so that if anyone hasn't seen like what this is tied to, like us knowing the relation and everything between these characters, just knowing that visually is very, very difficult. And I thought it was really awesome the way that you effectively told this story and made it so that anybody watching can understand what's happening and follow along and feel these without a single word spoken.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate that. I'll add a little more emotional destruction that I didn't bring up yet. The memories that were shown in there, some of them were exact one-for-one recreations of our studio's or our team's first films. That some of them are not released.
Oh wow!
Wow. And like for those that have seen some of the films that we've worked on, the train sequence was actually one from our first project that has not been released yet. And I know there was another one. Oh, Mike? Oh,
your mic is off.
Is it on now? Is this thing on?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Thank you, Munark.
The dancing, the DDR scene, that was also one from our first film. And I wanted to include those because I like tying in some of our like studio memories into our films.
I love that.
Yeah.
Further questions? I have a question now.
No. Ooh, what you got?
Well, just speaking about the Studio Penrose, and other projects, I'd love to hear perhaps what you've just released. If people can follow follow your work, if there's anything new to see, and perhaps what's on the horizon for Studio Penrose as well.
Oh, yeah, sure. So we released the 360 film, but then we also re-released our very first film as a studio or as a team called Voicemail, and that was my first film working with my current team. And we released it on the channel to maintain the like historical, I guess, to like archive it with us. And so it's actually a good time to ask about the new projects because this changed quite heavily since the last time you and I talked. And so we have an episodic series that we've been working on since last year's Raindance, and it's still going. But that's a long-term project because it's 10 episodes, and each episode's 20 minutes, and we want to write everything out, and it's a lot of work. It's kind of like our studio's long-term bread and butter. But what we recently did with the studio is enacted what kind of a weird term, but like we called it the Indie Film Initiative, where as a studio we try to produce more independent films, more emotional films, more films that are connected and emotionally connecting to the audience, because that's where we came from. That's our roots, is we worked on films that we emotionally wanted to tell like a story. And so we have a couple projects in the works, and I can actually share them. The first project, unannounced, but I guess it's Fireside Chat, is a film that we're working on that describes a manga artist who is struggling to maintain her passion and her, I guess, will to continue writing manga. And it's about her finding herself again. One of the things that we as VRChat creators, or anyone who does anything creative on VRChat in general, face is the idea, and everyone loves this term, is burnout. Where we love what we're doing, but if we keep doing it and there's like outside forces that are pressuring you, you feel like you have to meet deadlines, expectations, you start to lose that passion. And this film is a very personal, I guess, telling of that, not just for me, but also for a lot of the members on a team, a lot of the people that are on the project, not even just in the writing side of it. It's a story that I wanted to share because we all can feel it. Yeah. That one hits home. But I guess the other projects that we're working on is there's more independent short films. And I don't think I can share some of them yet, but one of them I will share is a film that was actually written by our choreographer Crispy Wisp. It's a short. This is kind of odd because it's under 4 minutes, and I don't know what it actually classifies as, but I kind of call it a visual poem. She wrote a 1-page story, and we're going to basically translate that to visual format, essentially. So that's one of the things we're working on. Quinn is actually going to direct that one. I don't know if Quinn's here, but there you are. Sorry, I had to call you out. So we got a lot of stuff going. A lot of
right. It's not just the series, but yeah, and I love that you're empowering people in the studio to direct and write their own pieces that you can collaborate on together. It's very community driven, and I appreciate that, and I'm sure people here also really appreciate that. Was there any questions first of all before I carry on, because I can continue talking? We've got time for maybe one more question. No, I will.
What are you doing?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Buddy asked how you're doing.
I'm doing good. Not gonna lie, work has been rough, and so I've been a little burnt out. But don't worry, the creativity's there, and I'm very happy. This is the part where I give thanks to my studio and all the team members on these projects. Part of the independent filmmaking thing is a way for us to vent our emotions and also to reinvigorate creativity and like working together. I really appreciate my team for helping me throughout all this. We started as a new studio late last year, and starting from scratch is kind of difficult. But you guys have been there to support me throughout everything. So I want to offer Studio Penrose, you guys thanks for all that. And also Natalia back there, thank you for supporting me throughout all the hardships. I'm not afraid to admit that like it's been a little hard at times. I think we all can like resonate with the difficulties of like balancing work life and VR and all that sort of stuff. But ultimately it's our friends that kind of help us through this stuff. And yeah.
Wow, yeah, thank you for sharing that, truly. It's funny because I feel like the question I was going to ask before Buddy asked was, how has the studio work been? Like, has it been challenging? I feel like Buddy somehow like indirectly asked that question, just like telepathically maybe. But I really appreciate your honesty because, and you should take it as inspiration for the Burnout film too. You know, it's all inspiration, just taking it in. Do you have any tips, perhaps, to close our conversation in going independent, finding your collaborators, and championing each other to create and kind of keep yourselves inspired? You know, that's something I try really hard to do in my own teams, and it would be really nice to hear how you achieve that within yours for the people who maybe are wanting to collaborate a little bit further and create their own teams.
Yeah, of course. I actually should make one distinction. When I said work was been hard, I meant like IRL work, like my job, not the studio. The studio's been good to me. But yeah, in terms of advice for anyone that's interested in filmmaking or even like studio life, first off is don't be afraid. I was afraid of creating an independent studio for quite a while because, like it or not, I felt like I was going to disappear out of obscurity and just disappear. And so for a while, I was too hesitant to like go independent with the studio. But I'm telling you guys to do that. If you want to go independent, go ahead and do it. And if you want to make your first short film, do it too. We have resources available to assist people with that. I'm going to shout out the Filmmakers of VR group that me, Ariel, and Gab run. It's a Discord group that we created in order to help onboard people onto filmmaking. A lot of people think, okay, look at this film that we just watched. It's very difficult. How do you even do that? But believe it or not, I wouldn't say it's not easy. I wouldn't say it's easy. But I'd say it's less scary than you may think to pick up a camera and to start producing video content. In order to reach out to people, to talk about ambitions, to get body actors, I think the easiest way to do that is to go to these sort of events and also to talk to people within the Discord. We've been a little quiet lately because we've been so busy with all these projects, but we're always there to help. And if you guys ever need advice or anything either, you guys can feel free to reach out to me or anyone that's a filmmaker, because we're like really happy to talk about this stuff, and we want to make this medium accessible for everyone, and we want to encourage people to produce more films. Like it or not, we need more people to produce films. We need more films, we need more filmmakers, we need more people in every sort of category imaginable, because the success of our films and the medium as a whole depends on how many people are willing to do it. Right now, I'm going to make the statement that VR film is still in its baby stages. We don't classify as animation necessarily, and we don't classify fully in mocap either. We're in this weird medium, and so I bring that up because it's kind of hard to find our stuff, and we need more of it. There are films that have made it outside the realm of virtual reality, like We Met in VR has made it to HBO, and so we're breaking the VR space, but we still have a ways to go.
Yeah, inspiring words to end on. Thank you so much for answering that question so eloquently. That's the end of our show. Thank you so much for those in the instance who joined us for not just this, today's these screenings we just witnessed for Where Would the Flowers Grow and Love Sorrow, but also the previous screening we had today. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you for our, I don't know where the camera is, but thank you to our streaming audience for watching and for bearing with us. I hope you enjoyed the show. And then to thank the team behind the scenes, thank you so much Fangs, who was on camera running the stream and also assisting in broader sense curating and on the Raindance team. And on that note, thank you Troppy Ginger Maria and Jolie, who are all on the Raindance team as well. This event wouldn't be possible without any of them. And Lucy for making this world, and for the microphones, and the incredible 360 films that we created the bubbles for. It went really well overall. We made it happen. Thank you, Lucy. We may close the stream, and if anyone wants to stay, chit chat, talk a bit further, take some photos as well, I'm going to stick around, so please do.
Bravo. That was awesome.
You cooked. I fucking cooked. You cooked. It was like 98% secure. Can I make that name your thing you never cooked? I want to make that name yellow. That name should really be yellow by now. I agree. Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, I thought we got it. That's just me talking. So if you go on a treadmill, would you? I'm just inspired by it. Oh no, I did.